Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Woke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the sex, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps and I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Rich. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on this channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and Bitcoin sitting at about 104,710. We got up to about 105,200 today. Absolutely awesome, because today is a really big day. We have Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30 with the rate decision coming at 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is all Eastern. And we're expecting him no change. Donald Trump's actually expecting no change as well. He called Jerome some names today. We're going to get into that. Childish fun. And we're going to get into a lot of different things here. We'll be playing Battle of the Bags. We're going to be messing around, having a good time today. Really want to interact with you and your comments today. I know we don't always do that. We always try to make sure the show is good, but we need to get more into the comments. So I want you guys to help us out today. Put stuff in the comments. If you guys want us to look at something, if you want us to check something out, today is the day to do that, guys. Put it all in there. We're going to go through a lot of different stuff. We have some really big news coming from Kraken today. Hopefully it's a dog launch, but we will see. But you know, they had their CEO come out and say Rune June is live. We're going to discuss that. Then their chain is kind of live now. Ink. It's like a layer 2 on Ethereum. So that's interesting. We're going to jump into that a little bit, and got a lot of news coming from the Senate. The Genius Bill, a Genius Act has passed. So we get into that. And of course, we'll cover the global money supply from Colin Talks Crypto. So a lot to get into today. And without further ado, we'll bring our partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today, bro?
Still feeling good. Yesterday, I feel like we got tested a bit. Bitcoin showed some strength, right? With a lot of the bad news happening globally, was able to defend high 103s, low 104s, right? And so I expected it to drop down to 102, 101. And the fact that it showed that resilience, it makes me stay a bit bullish, right? Even in the shorter term, even if we do, dance around here, I feel fine until, again, my leading indicator, which is the M2 global supply, fails me clearly. Then I will start to be a little bit, not necessarily nervous, but, have to reassess how I'm going to view the next 2 months. And right now I'm staying on course.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with you, and we're gonna get into a little bit of that too. Colin has some words for people who say that his M2 chart has failed, so we get into that a little later. But let's kind of get into the main topic of today: battle of narratives. Which crypto trend will dominate the second half of 2025? So let's kind of walk through this a little bit. What are you thinking when you see this headline? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Because we're so, I feel like intertwined into the Bitcoin ecosystem, I might have a little bit of bias there. So I do think that it's going to be like a sneaky narrative for the rest of the cycle, rest of this year, right? But AI and Bitcoin is the two that come to my mind. I do truly believe that the space is exhausted of the meme launch pads from like the pump funds and that type of stuff on Solana, the huge casino that's happening there, right, consistently. And so I think it's going to be between the AI sector and the Bitcoin ecosystem, Bitcoin DeFi. But you know, both can really thrive in the second half, right? They can kind of have their moments to shine. And I just think there's a lot of unpacking for the Bitcoin ecosystem that the rest of the space doesn't really know about, right? You're talking about BTC-Fi with the staking, restaking. You're talking about all these Bitcoin layer 2s. You're talking about Kraken getting involved with the Bitcoin ecosystem. We don't even know what that's going to look like, right? So from a marketing perspective, that helps a ton. And now they have this layer 2. So are they going to try to utilize that with their runes infrastructure, with bridging? We don't know. You know, there's a lot of speculation that's happening right now. So those are the things that come to my mind whenever I read that headline.
Yeah, I love it. I completely agree. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin ecosystem. For some reason, they have some stuff in here that I didn't realize. But when you go to CoinMarketCap, go to Bitcoin ecosystem, you're seeing stuff like Sky. We gotta potentially do some research on this because apparently it's in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I'll definitely look into that. I don't know much about Sky. It's something we've seen this past week as well. On something else we were looking at, but Pendle. Reserve rights. Again, I don't know much about these projects, but I don't think they're in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Maybe they have wrapped Bitcoin on their thing. I don't know. But you are seeing stuff like Ordi, Sats, Solve, Rootstock, Bitcoin Wizards.
Yeah. And
What
you had
is that?
dog.
Oh,
You
that's
had
the
dog
wizard
at the
token.
top, right there.
There he is. Yeah, there's a dog. But yeah, man. Let's kind of do it by 1 hour here. Alex Labs bouncing back today. That's good for stacks for sure. That got hammered on the 7-day. But what's cats? Like some of these projects that I don't even know what the hell some of this stuff is.
Well, you
But
have to remember that there's a lot of these BRC20s
yeah,
that are still there with holders and stuff like that, right? So I would probably focus more on the protocol stuff or the large community fungible tokens,
yeah,
right? So like something like Stacks is up there. Everybody knows about Stacks. Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. It's the UTXO chain. They try to do a lot of innovation over there, but it doesn't seem to trickle over to Bitcoin necessarily. Then you have Dog, which everybody's talking about right now. Ordi, which is the BRC20 version of that, in my opinion, in terms of strength. And then you have like Babylon, right? Babylon right below that. And that one to me is one that a lot of people aren't talking about, but could be huge in a like I guess spotlight moment for the Bitcoin ecosystem in Q4 because they have so much Bitcoin that is staked, right? And I think that was really smart because they're going to have the largest TVL when it comes to staked Bitcoin. And they have their own chain and they're going to have their own token as a reward. So that Babylon hasn't even really opened up, in my opinion, yet. It's just the staking portion of it. Then you got Magic Eden, which has been really involved, right? And not only the Bitcoin ecosystem, but like all other parts of the industry. And because of that, like how much they are involved with the Bitcoin ecosystem and innovation, that can also help the Bitcoin ecosystem shine in Q4 whenever things get implemented. Slingshot, is something that they've been talking about to make runes trading easier with USDC. And then you have Sats, another fungible token, and then Solve Protocol kind of rolls into that Babylon because they're kind of the middleman. There's going to be a couple of those that are big. So there's a lot of stuff over here that we know about, but the broader industry doesn't know about yet. And I think that's opportunity, right? If the marketing can happen correctly with these Bitcoin layer 2s, with the BTC-Fi, with the Bitcoin staking, restaking, and then you have the marketplaces, it could all be like this big kind of snowball that, turns into an avalanche to where everybody's like, whoa, I didn't know this much stuff was happening over there. And you made a comment while we're working yesterday that we might be early, and the other people are just like, well, I didn't even know this stuff was happening, right? So that's how I look at the Bitcoin ecosystem and how it can be kind of a sneak attack on the industry and say, wow, there's a lot more stuff happening over there than I expected.
Yeah, and that I said that on the lines of Superfan's comment here. So the more I say I build on Bitcoin, the more I come across people who have no clue about development on Bitcoin or those runes in general. It's really sad, really. I don't think it's sad though, Superfan. I think it's more of us just being too early. Like there, you got to remember, there's always narratives when people say, "Oh, this is the new narrative," but there's narratives and people have been in them for over a year, right? When BNB was the new narrative, it was going from, $25 to $200, right? But then in reality, people were getting in at $2. But those people probably felt like they were too early because it was probably $2 for like a year, right? So it's just, you have to remember where we're at in the cycle and kind of make, adjustments to maybe we're in the early part of the cycle.
Oh, we definitely are, because we got in 2023 whenever everything was really popping off with ordinals, and we realized this was kind of like a home base for us. And then Solana came along with their pump fund and all this stuff, so it kind of grabs the attention of the people that want everything to be easy and quick and stuff like that, right? But you're right, like BNB launched way before the token had success. And I think we're in that moment of where the ecosystem is going through innovation. And when you have an entity like Kraken come along and really help with infrastructure, because that's what seems like possibly is in the works, then that's a game changer. Then you're making it easy for people, just like how Pump Fund did, right? You're making it easy for people to onboard through their Crack app or whatever they decide they're going to do. And then that can really turn things up and get the attention over here.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You did mention AI. It's another one of the ones that you're kind of thinking about, right? But I love this one. It's called AI and Big Data category. You have BitTensor, you have Virtuals, you have Injective, the Theta network. I love this one right here. What do you think about AI and big data? And what would you, like? This is just me. I haven't done any research, but what do you think big data means?
Big data.
Like, could it mean like, I guess like Filecoin type of projects?
I mean, it's in there.
Yeah.
Right. You see Filecoin there.
Yeah.
Possibly just, like blockchains that are specifically geared towards, file storage, right? Or just being able to keep track of important data, right? And then you have your AI kind of mixed in with that, which that makes sense to me, right? Because you kind of they can actually work hand in hand. But yeah, you see a lot of exactly. You see a lot of recognizable names here. You see Cookie DAO, you see Arkham, you see at the top, I think there was definitely some other ones that were Cato. Yep, Cato, probably big data and AI, actually. AI with the social aspect. ICP kind of having that data tech stack as well. And they actually have Caffeine AI, right? So there's a lot in this category as well, but it's more of how is that going to be really relevant for Web3 versus the Web 2 world, because we share AI with Web 2, right? Web 2 is utilizing AI a ton, and then Web 3. The good thing about AI versus something like that was like this similarly in the past was gaming, but gaming was already dominated by Web 2, right? It didn't just come into society where both were experiencing it at the same time. AI has been like that with Web3. So there's an opportunity here to where Web3 isn't far behind Web2 in terms of usability, innovation. Gaming, Web3 is way behind Web2, right? Or the real world. So I think AI is a big opportunity for crypto, and we'll see how they continually utilize it. because it's obviously big. It's big enough to where people are creating chains that are focused around it, like BitTensor.
Yeah, 100%. And BitTensor is probably one of the most bullish projects that I'm thinking that's going to be a top 5 project one day in the sense of market cap. I think it's just too big to fail at this point. And then you have internet computer, same thing. I mean, the tech is absolutely amazing. Bitcoin ecosystem is actually utilizing that in a lot of different ways. Render and Filecoin, right? These two has been around forever, and they're just continuously growing in market cap. What's some other sectors that you're kind of thinking of? You did mention gaming, there's DPen, music, options. Like, I haven't even looked at the options stuff. Apparently there's more options protocols. I mean, this is something me and you talk about a lot, but you can barely take options on some of these as well. There's kind of low numbers though.
Yeah, I actually looked into this in 2023 because I love options. I love just the structure of them,
Yeah.
just how they work, organically and stuff. And like Hedgic, that's on Arbitrum, or it was, and so was if you went down, there's like Premia or something like that. Yeah, Premia. Yeah, like that. Those are dope X. I was in those, and they're just not at the point of what someone that's used to options trading is wanting in terms of the actual options that they offer you, right? Like I'm talking about the dates that you can trade on.
Yeah.
But I think it gets there. It might not be one of these. There's going to be some big players. We look at the Deribit; it's more centralized. The decentralized option sector is something that I think it's open. It's open for 1, 2, and 3. Right now, there's not even a clear-cut winner, right? So,
Yeah.
but again, that is a small kind of category in my opinion. The main ones are the AI, the Bitcoin ecosystem, and then the Solana kind of meme coin launch pads, right? And I just think that we're exhausted from the meme coin launch pads. So,
I think we had our time to launch them. Now it's time to find the ones that we like and build communities with them, right? Like they're all launched. Just go pick one at this point, right? There's no point. You can't really create anything that's not already created. So I think now it's just time for people to go and find the community that they want to be a part of and grow it like a community instead of pumping and dumping. Right? I think it's time for I think that we're headed to the next sector of meme coins. We did the thing where we created everything. I mean, everything has a name, and you just got to find the one that you like now and kind of be a part of that community. They're community coins at this point, right? The meme launch pads, in my opinion, are not going to be the same. You'll have your one-offs though. You'll have like your newer, something brand new that pops and does a really good job, and whatever. But I think the time for 100 new coins a week is over. I think it's time for us to kind of pick and choose what we are liking. But yeah. So is there anything else before we move along here that maybe you're kind of thinking about in a sense of what could be the next hot thing, let's just say in a year from now, if we get a long cycle?
I think there could be like a gambling sector run that's more like traditional, not meme launchpad stuff. I'm talking about like, strong like sports books, strong like the prediction markets is something that is been there, but like maybe even like traditional casino stuff that's digital, right? That kind of stuff. There probably could be a sports type of thing as well, like fantasy maybe or something, right? You can roll fantasy into crypto somehow, maybe. That type of thing could be big. I know that collectibles like the RWA that's been talked about a lot, but you got to do it to where I think people can really relate to it, right? So something that's been coming out is like, the sports card industry, the hobby of collectibles is something like we see with Courtyard, and there's some other projects that are coming up. I mean, Courtyard's doing pretty big numbers for that type of business. I think they're doing like 15 to 20 million in revenue a week, right? And that's big, right? And that type of stuff I think is gonna come out, but it's like random stuff that could be hot, right? So like e-commerce, what is that going to look like whenever there's like an eBay of our space? Or I know there's something like Shopify that's trying to come out right now. I think they're launching through the Believe app, but like they're trying to be the crypto version of Shopify, right? So where you can just you accept all Web3 payment type of situation. And so you just got to keep researching day after day and watch the show, because like this is what we go over, right? Like if there's something hot, we talk about it in the headlines. And so, but the main ones I think for the second half of this year are going to be those main ones I talked about, because those are the ones that have the big dominating capabilities, and the other ones I think will start to trickle in, and then maybe we see something in 2026 that's complete game changers.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you said there. I think RWA and the cards, real world assets coming online, tokenizing real world assets, putting them in marketplaces, having raffles and stuff like that. I think that could be absolutely huge going forward. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm bullish on is RWA right now. I know there's a lot of people that think the way I'm thinking as well. So we will see what comes from that. But we're going to move along from this one. So. All right, so let's kind of get into the off-chain news here. So Fed set to hold rates be at 4.25 and 4.5. That's kind of where they're at. They got to remember this is bank to bank. If you want to go take out a mortgage, you're probably not going to get it less than 6%. Or a loan, it's almost impossible to get less than 6% because you have to remember the banks have to make money on this. The banks borrow from the Fed, and then what happens is they lend it to you, they make 1-2% on that, right? So we need this number to come down. We need this number to be at like 3. We need this number to be even at 2.8 would be absolutely amazing. 2.75 would be absolutely amazing. If we can get there, because that means you can get a loan for 4%, that would be that's where we want to be, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that. President Trump came out today and says Federal Reserve probably won't cut today, and Jerome Powell is not a smart guy. And then he comes out and says, am I allowed to appoint myself head of Fed? I do a much better job than Powell. All right. So I love your opinion on all this. Start with the Fed rate and then head on to Trump's childish comments.
I think he's starting to get a little stubborn on the Fed rate. Just consistently just holding it at the paused state, right? And but he's obviously a specialist. This is his job, but it just makes me wonder whenever you hear comments like that, is this starting to be like a stubborn, like prideful thing, right? And I'm sure like the Fed committee has pride too, so when they hear about this and they go and, meet about what the decision is going to be, it's kind of like, we can't just take, directive from the president on what to do. We got to do our job. Blah, blah, blah. It could just literally get into like an old man argument, which those never go well. You know what I mean? I forgot what movie it was, like Grumpy Old Men. That was a movie. Yeah. It's literally, that's how old people are. Like I see it with my parents and stuff. Like when they're stuck in their ways, they're not going to let up, and old people run our government and our Federal Reserve, right? So it's just like, and so, hopefully they are doing what's best for the country right now and the economy, but just to at least have some sort of like better communication to say, okay guys, like we're not there yet, we got to get here and then we can. But it's so closed door and all this stuff, so that's what makes me think that he's like being stubborn about this. Now on the flip side, don't tweet like that, because it's like whenever you don't get your enemies to do stuff what you want them to do through fire. You give them honey, right? Like you want them to, you know what I'm saying? And that Trump for some reason just does this. It's always fire, right? And so I don't know if this is like a reverse psychology thing or what, but it's just doesn't seem like it's the right approach to me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Jerome, the only thing Jerome's concerned about is his legacy. Jerome is a 70-80-year-old man at this point, and he just wants to be looked at as one of the greatest Feds of all time, and possibly he might be. What happened in 2020 was crazy, but he did what was right then. He dropped it to 0, right? He wasn't concerned about anything but making things easier for the American people, and he did that. But then he let it go too long. We were at 0 rates for way too long, right? And then he got crazy and started tightening, and then he over tightened. We're at a position right now where I don't think we should be at 4.5 when we were just at 0 in 2020. He just went too fast, too quickly. And 2022 was a year of, it was basically a depression. If you look at it, we had 2 negative GDP rates in a row. Some would argue that is a depression, and we were potentially in one, or a recession, right? Whatever you want to call it. And then we kind of moved along there, and we're still kind of in this rate this rate cycle. I mean, we did cut a little bit. We did come down from 5, but it just wasn't enough, and we need rates lower because we don't know what to expect next, right? Jerome seems to be somebody who's always too late, and Trump does have a point there.
Yeah. But like at the same time, it's like every month now, like we're just looking at Polymarket. And we're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
Polymarket gets it right? Like, so today, I think everybody's just really hoping that Powell gives something to Polymarket to make Polymarket think that, okay, the percentage is shooting up for July or whatever the next time he has an opportunity to actually cut rates, right? So that's what I'm hoping for too. And Bitcoin's price actually has been pretty resilient with these Fed meetings. They don't get affected as much as they used to, but with the global chaos happening in the world and these headlines that have been kind of negative recently, I'm just a little bit concerned that like it could actually be exemplified a little bit, depending on what he says today.
Yeah, and 100% too. And you have to remember too, the that's one big part of his job, right? The rates. The other big part is quantitative easing, quantitative tightening. Right now, we're still in a quantitative tightening cycle. We've been in here since January of 2022, where we've been tightening, which basically means we're selling bonds into the market. We need to get to a point of quantitative easing where we're buying bonds from the market, adding new money into the market. That what that will do is that will bring rates down. It actually does a lot of different things, but the main thing it'll do is bring the rates down. So the big boys who buy bonds, they're going to get less and less for that bond. So they might sell that bond into the market, which then will allow them to take that money and invest in the stock market, right? So that's what they do. They're either in stocks or they're in bonds or they're in both, and they're 60-40, and then maybe they get a little bit more risky as rates come down. That's kind of what we want, and we want to ease. We want to ease back into a nice situation where risk on matters again.
Absolutely, we all want risk on.
100%. All right, moving along here. Colin talks crypto. Global M2 money supply versus Bitcoin. M2 keeps putting in new highs for those who say M2 is broken. So let's jump over to my man Colin, and he has some choice words for you, my friends. No, I'm just kidding. But if anyone who says that it's broken, this is his comments for you. He's basically saying here, for those who say the M2 money supply is broken, zoom out and stop looking at daily candles. It's not even close to broken. 20% deviation is expected. Look at other periods M2 has deviated on the chart, and the note that this is still remained a broadly accurate macro indicator. For those who don't understand why the offset changes, it's actually a range. Watch this. He has a video there if you want to watch that. But he says M2 is directionally predictive for Bitcoin, not one-to-one price related. I see many trying to use Bitcoin y-axis for the M2 line, saying that this is what M2 price predicts. Bitcoin is on its own y-axis, and M2 is on its own y-axis. M2 does not predict a specific Bitcoin price. It predicts a market direction with about 80% accuracy. What do you take from this?
I'll take it if that's true. 80% accuracy, yeah. But 20% could be pretty big, right? Like if you're talking about, but that's where I think people get get emotional with it, right? And they're like, oh, it doesn't follow it, like they say. But you have to remember that like 20% to me, deviation of 20% that's acceptable, right? Like if I can get something right 80% of the time, then even if it's just directional, right? Because then you feel like you could be a safe swing trader, right? Because now you're getting forecasts that's 10 weeks ahead, right? And so that to me is like a ton of help for a swing trader. And then you don't get yourself in trouble kind of accounting for a possibility of 20% of deviation. Now, obviously, some crazy things can happen in the world, right? That can give you a horrible day that feels like, oh, it's broken. But I think as long as it, gets back on track, that's the most important thing. And if you look at this chart, I mean, there's moments to where it could feel that way, right? If you look at the February of 2025, Bitcoin did an inverse. So if you were thinking, oh, this is going to short, or I should short this because it's going down. It actually went up. So that's where I think things could get a little tricky, but you account for that 20%, right? But it is almost an exact inverse. So it's so crazy if you look at the shape there. But for the most part, directionally, that's why he's kind of saying if you zoom out, you can see the trend was still kind of similar, even though that moment it popped up for that 20% deviation, it still was a trend that was kind of down in the end, right? You had moments of popping up, but then like you zoom out and that trend's still down. And so I feel like it's kind of similar to where we are right now. People are getting nervous because there's wars and stuff like that that's happening. And they're like, well, you kind of have to throw this out the window. I actually disagree with that. I think, yes, right now is probably like if you're ever going to use that 20% deviation, probably pull that card out right now, right? Because of the global events that are happening. But doesn't mean it's going to exactly happen that way. There could be news tomorrow that there's an agreement, or the everything stops, or Powell could say, hey, look, we're getting really close to cutting rates because of the global events that are happening right now. We just need our economy to be strong, those kind of things. So I think if you just zoom out and see how consistent it's been, then you would be happy with this indicator, and that's how I feel.
Yeah, 100%. And to your point there, like this deviation right here, right? It does look like we're about to see this, but opposite, right? We had the money supply down, Bitcoin price up. It does look like we have the money supply up, and it does potentially mean we could kind of go across up against this line here. But that still means 123 by August, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it still means all-time highs. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, so a deviation, it doesn't seem like it was that far apart. Now, to say you do the exact same thing we did here, but opposite, we're still about 115 in July, you know what I mean? And then pushing up. But then they always come back, right? It always comes back, which means to tell me that, as long as this thing keeps going up and doesn't come down, we're going to be at 147 potentially by September.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then if you look at so I think in late 2024 is really when we started to see the strength of Bitcoin, because early 2024 the ETFs were there, but it was like people were getting the entities were getting their feet wet with it, right? Like you have BlackRock, that was one of the first, and then you started seeing some of these other fund management companies jump in, and then you start to see some stability, but it wasn't like now how the end of 2024 was. I feel like that was whenever companies and Meta Planet, everybody's like, okay, we're on board fully, nation states, stuff like that. Then you start to see the strength of Bitcoin too, right? So yes, even though it deviated some, like it started to get back on track. And then in the beginning of this year, the deviation was actually on the upside of Bitcoin, kind of dropped when the supply kind of dropped lower, but it still zoomed out and trended down. And then so now we're kind of in this situation to where does Bitcoin kind of show its strength here and stay at closer than the 20% deviation during the kind of hard times that we're going through right now as a world, right? So maybe it might not be 20%. It could be like a 10% deviation on the downside. So it's just like kind of paying attention to it day by day and seeing how strong Bitcoin is truly compared to this time last year, because I think it's much stronger. If you look at it from an institutional interest, companies, nation states, world, the whole world is like Bitcoin is the answer. And so our deviations might not be so much stronger on the downside as they could be on the upside. You get what I'm saying? Like on the inverse, because we've shown strength, especially the past 3 and 4 months. I would say 3 months at least. We've shown strength whenever like the tariff stuff started happening. After a while, Bitcoin was kind of bulldozing through that. So.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I completely agree with everything. And we'll see what kind of deviation we do get, right? 20% deviation is completely fine. So I guess if we're here, what would be 20% of that would still be like 110, 115. So I'm completely okay with this chart. And I do think eventually we kind of get closer, very similar to what you kind of see. We got that far away point. Maybe this is our far away point. And then we kind of break it back in to getting closer, which means we'd be closer to up here. So, yeah, we'll keep tracking this every single day. I know you guys do like it, so we'll definitely keep looking at what is going on there. But we'll move along forward now here. So, All right, all right. The next thing here is Senate has passed the Genius Act. The House will vote next. So I'm actually learning a lot about government politics at this point. How long it takes for a damn bill. I mean, I feel like the Genius Act passed the Senate like 9 times. I don't
Right?
know. It's just like I don't understand. Now it's going to the House and then it goes to the president's desk. But anyway, this is a big deal. We are seeing Circle, CRCO. I've been following it. It's every day it hits a new all-time high. It started at about $30, and now it's about hold on. It started about $30 for people like BlackRock and Kathy Wood, but everyone else started for about like $60, right? And now today we're about 130. So if you did buy on that opening day, you doubled your money so far. Kathy Wood has taken tons of profit on Circle so far. She got in at 30 and she started selling at 90, and then she's almost out of her position completely at 130. So I don't know if she's expecting a sell down or whatever, but Kathy Wood is selling. BlackRock has not sold any. They're saying this is a long-term hold for them. They don't care the price. They believe in what Circle is doing. So it just kind of tells me that they're going to be buying more. They kind of want the price to dip so they can buy Kathy Woods up and potentially get a good portion of this. And maybe Circle is the stable coin of BlackRock.
Yeah, I would love to see what the options market looks like if it's even started yet for Circle, but that's something that I would definitely be interested in taking a look at. But they could be one of the biggest companies in the US in the next 10, 15 years, right? So it's kind of like getting in early with the Apples and stuff like that. Because it's stable coins, and stable coins, people are getting extremely excited about it. Scott Bessent said that 3 trillion possibly by, I think he said here in the next 3 to 5 years, I think he said. And so everybody knows that institutions are kind of licking their chops with the state. Like the institutions are the ones that are probably pushing the Genius Act here, because they know what they can do with that. Create product after product after product to be able to earn. They're happy with them earning 5 to 10% on people's money, right? And this is what's gonna allow them to do that. So it is funny like how many times they talked about this though, because the first one actually is, I believe, the House committee was preparing it and had to say, okay, is this good to go to the Senate? And then that was earlier, and then it got voted in the Senate. Now, so this is a slam dunk now because the House is the one that really prepared it, I think.
Oh, okay. So the House created it, sent it to the Senate. Senate made some adjustments. Now they got to send it back to the House to get their approval. And if they don't make any adjustments, which they shouldn't because they already made theirs, we should stamp approval very quickly and then to the president's desk.
Pretty much improved already.
Okay. Sounds good. But I think Circle is a $500 billion company right now. Like I think I think it's going to be one of the biggest companies in the world. Just think about how much stablecoins need to come online, right? I mean, I'm thinking we only have about $200 billion in stablecoins so far. 250 billion, I think, is the all-time high, and I think we're about to see 2.5 trillion in the next 12 months. So if I say that, if 2.5 trillion dollars is coming online and Circle makes a fee of every dollar that they tokenize, I mean, they're going to be making an insane amount of money.
Yeah, exactly. That's why BlackRock wants to hold and not sell, right? I mean, Kathy Wood to me, sometimes I'm just like, dude, Kathy Wood to me is a degen in the in TradFi, right?
Yeah,
a degen fund manager. She's like, ooh, new stuff, speculative, okay, innovative. Let's get into it. It's hot for like 3 months during global meltdown times, and then like she stays on like a month or two too long, and she's like, I'm getting out of my entire portfolio of speculative assets. So like how is she successful? Obviously she's hit some home runs, she's hit the early Teslas, I think, and stuff like that. Maybe
she got Tesla like a couple $100, and now I mean equivalent, they did a couple of restructures to where like 1 equals 10 or some shit, but equivalent, she went from like $100 to 4,000 on every Tesla share, and she bought big. So she did really, really well in Tesla. She hasn't really done much well on anything else. They said they hold Bitcoin, hold Ethereum, they hold some Litecoin and some other stuff, but I don't know. But she seems to be a trader more than more than an investor.
Except for with all these high profile clients' money.
I know.
I don't know. Well, you can. Her.
You can buy ARK on and roll with her if you wanted to. But let's move along here. So the first XRP spot ETF ever launches on Toronto Stock Exchange. We've seen about 30 days ago, we've seen them launch the first Solana spot ETF, and they were the first ones to launch a Bitcoin ETF, an Ethereum ETF, and now Solana and XRP. But what do you think? Does this give us more leeway for the Fed on that July 15th to not only add Solana but also add XRP?
Yeah, I think it gives them more credibility, probably. Like they got it passed through the Canadian Stock Exchange, right?
Yeah.
Or Toronto Stock Exchange. And so the Canadian regulators went through it, proved it, all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure, they have all their ducks in a row with that. So probably going to be an easy push through. I think XRP is going to be one of those that does well because of who the people are behind it, right? Like I know that like if you dig deep, you're probably not going to like a lot of what you find, but their network before they got into crypto and what they've continually developed through it with the traditional finance, the banking institutions, the countries, the SWIFTs, the CBDC, like they're like want like all the big entities that dominated like their societies, they're like in like friends with them, you know what I mean? And so because of that, they will succeed in what they're trying to do. They might not be the best opportunity for the small guy, like everyday small guy, but if you have a lot of money to throw at it, you probably make some good money.
Yeah, 100%. But it does seem like the Canadians get in early. I mean, they were able to buy Bitcoin as an ETF at like 20,000-30,000, right? They were able to buy it. Well, maybe not there. They might have bought it a higher because I think it was 3,000 when they put that up there. So we'll see what happens with XRP and Solana, but still really cool to see. It does seem like a lot of these TradFi and like me and you can go buy this. You don't have to be Canadian to buy their ETF. So
that's
or
cool.
open an account. Yeah. Chinese Bitcoin mining giants Bitmain, Canaan, and MicroBT are launching U.S. production to sidestep tariffs. This is a big deal, and I don't think people really realize that. So right now, we have a 50% tariff on China. It potentially is going to get down to 30%, but as of right now, until this deal is done, it's 50%. So think about that. A $6,000 miner is now $9,000, right? A $14,000 miner is now $21,000. You bring that production to the U.S., there is no tariff on that, so they can stay at that 14, 16. So these if you're buying in the US, it's a lot more expensive for the miner than it is if you're in China. So this is actually beneficial to China that the tariffs happen. I mean, not the ones selling it, but the people who are buying them, right? It's really beneficial to China to keep buying miners right now while the tariffs are high, because it's a lot more expensive for the US to do it. But this is going to change that. So it's actually going to create jobs in the US. That's the one thing people don't understand about tariffs is, yeah, it sucks. It's going to suck for a little while, but you're going to see companies like this, open up factories in the US, going to open up a lot of jobs in the US, which creates more taxpayers, which creates more financial independence in the US, right? I mean, that's what we kind of want to get to. So these tariffs aren't a terrible thing because you're seeing stuff like this happen.
We got to see it actually happen, though, right? I'm surprised that the Chinese government's not stopping them from doing this. Yeah. And maybe because there's continued talks happening, I'm not sure, but if this starts to happen, and you have to also remember too, like the consumers that are, how much is that revenue enough to where they're going to move manufacturing or some sort of manufacturing here, right? So if we see more and more of this kind of I guess following suit of having the factories or a factory built here in the US to sidestep the tariffs, then yeah, I agree with you. I think that we'll see the benefits of the tariffs, but that could take, where are we right now? Another year and a half maybe to start to see it really fully be in effect. But it will definitely be a positive, because now you're talking about more inflow of economic energy going into like the local cities and stuff of the states that they go into and stuff. So you'll be able to notice it after probably like a year and a half of them building it.
Yeah, and one thing though that's good about this too is like we're not going to see like how like the government blames TikTok. Oh, they're stealing your data. Blah blah. You won't see that happen with the miners now. because there will be some built in the U.S. and you can probably choose like, you know, you don't want them saying, oh well, they're putting spyware in the miners, and you know how these freaking congressmen and people are, man. They're just crazy when it comes to the stuff that they'll use anything to kind of push away something, right? I think it might be Facebook money coming in and saying TikTok bad, and they say, oh yeah, TikTok bad. So but we'll see. But let's try to jump over to the crypto fear and greed index. So last Wednesday was a 65. I missed those days. Yesterday was a 53. We're lower than that 53. We're in the high 40s. That's my hint for you today.
48.
Boom, on the noggin there.
Let's go.
So,
Let's
go. We got it.
So
I'm feeling 48. Feeling 46, not age. I probably feel 48 as well, but we are down here. I think we're gonna head lower. Well, it's hard to say because the Fed speaks in a few hours. I don't know. I'm not gonna bet on tomorrow, but I'm hoping we're back in the 50s. But I kind of feel like we're headed a little lower on this.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be tough, man, because if it's a negative speech today, then we could see Bitcoin trying to knock below 100K.
Yeah.
If it's an okay speech, then maybe we soldier through. If it's a good speech, maybe we get back on track. So we'll see. But yeah, 48 kind of feels like 48, right? It does feel about 48 right now. And it's so funny because you said I missed those days. It was literally last week. But that's the space that we're in. We signed up for this, and we got to remember a day is a week is a month is a year in this space.
100,000%. All right. We'll move along here, though. We'll get into the Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles brought to you guys by Artura.finance. These guys are building something truly special, in my opinion. They're building on, a Bitcoin L2 as well. They're building a leverage trading platform for the Bitcoin ecosystem, and they're building on Botonics and Hemi. We'll start with Botonics first. Botonics is the spider chain, and they're building there for a lot of different reasons. But the main reason, though, is that basically incentivizing use of their chain, and using Artura would actually help you get some of that incentive, right? So definitely want to use Artura.finance on Botonics, guys. I highly recommend doing that. Really, here's some really cool stuff could be coming from that. But definitely check out Artura.finance and the ARA airdrop, getting those points and XP. They've already announced it. It's happening. But you guys can use that probably the next couple of weeks. So really looking forward to that. And then they're building on Hemi. Hemi is backed by Binance. We do know that Hemi's going to have a token. They already announced it. And they will be incentivizing their chain through an airdrop of their Hemi token. And you can also get the ARA token on there by using that. Low money, low leverage, have some fun, and air farm. It's my new term. But definitely check that out, and check everything out at Artura.finance.
Absolutely. Can't wait to be able to play on that platform. It's going to be fun. Trading Doggo to the Moon, right? And other Bitcoin fungibles. So excited for that team. But guys, before we get into this Bitcoin price action, if you could help us out on the YouTube side, as always, and you guys are great for doing it, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, share the space as well. Hit that like too, guys. Help us out there. We want to onboard as many people to our industry as possible. Same thing goes for the abstract side too, guys. Help us over there. Share this link. But let's jump into some Bitcoin price action. All right. Starting with the hour chart here. All right. Looks like we might have a little bit of reversal energy. We'll see. We'll see. Let me zoom in here. All right. So, this was the bleed down. And I guess it started whenever Trump tweeted about people needing to evacuate Tehran, right? And it literally didn't stop until we got to, it wicked all the way down to, oh my God, like 1035 on a Tuesday morning at 11. And then we started to make our way back up. So right now it's kind of, trying to figure out what the sentiment is, right? Because, obviously global chaos creates fear, and we saw that here. But I think, we're trying to really find if we have that strength, if Bitcoin still has that strength to protect the 102, 101 level. We've protected it twice in the month of June, and I think we're pretty strong there. Obviously, things can change if it really gets crazy. Talking about someone threatening or actually looking to drop like an A bomb or something like that. Obviously, that's the last thing we need. But that's the only thing. Like a black swan event like that is what I think would send it down like to the point to where we got to figure out where that's going to end. But I think we're okay right now. You know, if we can just kind of, you know, keep things stabilized, Bitcoin has shown strength over this past month. So let's take a look here on the MACD. We are showing that we were exhausting here on the hour chart, but then it looks like we bounce back up here. We're starting to show a little bit more strength to see if we can have this reversal. Looks like they took it up right before lunch and dumped it right. Sorry, they took it up before lunch and dumped it right before lunch. And let's see if that continues here. All right. So this dump happened just now, right before lunch. And then now we're on our way up. Let's look at the support and resistance here. You can see that our support is looking pretty good at the level that we're at right now, 105, 104,977. So right at 105. And above that is some resistance. So it's going to be really hard to get past this. If we do have some strength in some of these buys, we could get past that level there, but then below it, we're showing resistance as well. So we just really need these levels to strengthen up right around the $105,000 mark, right? So we're kind of sandwiched in here where the support is the strongest, is right in the middle. We'll see if that changes here soon, because that could really, you know, change the 4-hour chart, which is what I'm about to go to here. So the 4-hour chart, it looks like the sell pressure is looking like it wants to exhaust a bit, right? But we need some help from that shorter time frame that we just got off of there. We need the Fed's speech to be, I think, not bad, right? If that happens, then we can kind of get out of this, right? It does show exhaustion, though. So you can see this line starting to curl up here. We haven't been in oversold territory for too long on the 4-hour chart. So we got to really see how today goes with Jerome and the Fed, as well as that shorter time frame. Again, the 102, 101, high 101 to low 102 price points have been, you know, protected very well in terms of support. We'll see if that continues there. This has opened up. The Bollinger Band has opened up. You know, it hasn't started to tighten again. If we do kind of go sideways here, we'll probably see it tighten. I don't like the fact that it's staying open, you know, but it is the 4-hour chart. So every candle is 4 hours. So it's going to take some time probably for this to squeeze down. But yeah, so it's not horrible, but it doesn't look super great. We probably need, like I said, a good FOMC meeting to kind of turn things around here. And then the weekly is starting to look weak. It's starting to look a little weak, man. I've been really, you know, happy with this time frame for Bitcoin because we've been showing strength here. And it's not really that much higher than the previous local top, right? You see right here. But again, you know, this could be a similar situation right here. That's why I circled this yesterday, is that we could be just going through some sideways. And, you know, the M2, if it is true, then this is definitely something that it will look something similar to this, another leg up, right? Maybe not as extended as this, but, you know, we will have a leg up, and then that will definitely propel us to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So we're still okay. I don't like how this is starting to form, but we might get something like this to where it reverses back up again. So that's what I'm hoping for there on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. I can't really, you know, tell you guys what I think is going to happen for the rest of today until the FOMC meeting, right? But if you're looking at the 4-hour, it does look exhausted. So if we do get some positive information from that, this could close up, you know, for the second half of today, the later part of today, maybe early tomorrow, we could get some bullish energy back if that meeting is okay. Looking at the other chart, it's going to just be something similar to Bitcoin, except for more exaggerated because it is everything besides Bitcoin in the top 10. So we're looking at all the rest of the blue chips, mid caps, and micro caps, and they are kind of bleeding out here. We've almost lost the buy pressure on the MACD on the weekly chart for the other chart. So we need Bitcoin to have a strong reversal to kind of get out of this, or Ethereum decide to do its thing, and that's the only two things that will really get us out of this for the other chart. And crypto bubbles, pretty much what I expected, mostly red, right? This is 100 through.
Damn, why is Pulse Chain down so bad?
Well, Pulse Chain is not going to be doing good if everything else is bad. It's going to be doing extra bad.
But dude, yeah, that's true.
IP.
Look at Arrow. It's just, oh, dude, Arrow's in the top on the first page now. Good for Arrow.
Yeah, we definitely need to start looking into Arrow more. Obviously, we know it's the main DEX for Coinbase and Base's integration. This is what they're going to use for basically being able to be on their app and then do DeFi stuff. And now I guess they've announced they're going to be that same solution for Kraken. Is that the case?
It's looking like that way. We're gonna get into that in a second, but yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one I'm looking at. I'm sure their market cap's already at least in the hundreds of millions, but we'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
And then you have Immutable X down 3.1%. Some of these are a little surprising to me that they're green, though. Crypto.com's token Crow is up 5%. There must have been some sort of credit card deal or something that happened. They're always, like every 3 months, they're in the news. Uniswap is up 2.2%. Tau is barely green at 0.9%. Pepe's green. Wow, that's weird. 2.3%. Say is green at 5.4%. Litecoin, the old silver to Bitcoin's gold.
Yeah.
Because I think Ethereum is the new silver to Bitcoin's gold. But like Litecoin is green by 0.6%. Not familiar with Kaya. I gotta look at that
Yeah, I
one
don't know
up.
that one either.
But yeah, Arbitrum down 2.1%. Let's see if there's any notable, like really hard ones that fell hard here. Not really. Even like most of them that are red, they're just barely red. You see Hyperliquid down 1.25%, ICP down 2.2%, Lido down 3%, Fartcoin down 1.9%. That's never good. Let's take a look at the 100 through 200. Hex down 10.1%, Pulse Chain down 11.8%. And then there's Pulse X and then Pulse Chain. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and then Hex too, all down a lot today.
Yeah,
so.
our dog army is down 7.8%, but that's okay.
Dip.
It's gonna come back. The dog army is too strong for that to stay down. Pith is down 2.9%. This might be one to look at, see if that this could be a good opportunity because Pith is the Chainlink competitor there, and it's getting, I would say it's probably number 2. It's getting the second most market share out of the Oracle services. And by the way, the Oracle services is more than just, price data. It's also randomizations and different things that you can check on chain, right? So a lot of services there. So Pith might be one to keep your eye on. ZBCN down 3.7%. Shout out Courtney Johnson. I think I gotta shout him out when it's up too, though. Not only when it's down. This is not a dig at Courtney. It's the fact that he's brought it to our attention. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But that is what the market is looking like, guys. Again, keep your composure. This is the most important time to stay focused and keep your composure because people can get really emotional with price swings.
It's gonna be all right. All right, let's jump into the next thing here. So we did get a tweet from Matthew Howells-Barby. He says, if you haven't played around on our L2 at inkonchain yet, now would be the time to do it. So we got us thinking about it this morning. And let me share my screen here. This morning we were kind of looking at, okay, so this is inkonchain.com. And the first thing I go to is apps, right? I want to see who's building here. You are seeing Velodrome. Yagobi just kind of mentioned it earlier, but Velodrome is potentially the top. I don't see any other dexes here, and especially on the top. I mean, they're sitting right next to Kraken Wallet and Reservoir, which I think is also a part of Kraken in some way. So you're seeing Velodrome kind of be up there, and they got Ox, a cross protocol, fast, secure, affordable bridges. So they got the bridges going and everything. So it had me earlier. I went and got my MetaMask, loaded it up. I got Ink now. Ethereum is the gas token, so it's very similar to Base in that sense. But Kraken has their own chain now. But got us thinking, right? They are saying they're going to list Dog, right? So do they do it through this chain? Do they bridge Dog from Bitcoin to Ink and allow you to buy the Ink version of Dog? It's something that I'm saying because you had the CEO of Kraken come out, and here's the tweet: Rune June is live. Exchanges. This is your I knew them before they were famous moment. Choose wisely. Some of these tokens are here to stay. Others are just stormtroopers shooting blanks. And he's obviously talking about Rune June, right? So he's talking about potentially the ones to stay. I think we talk about them all the time. But if you go to Magic Eden and you go to Runes, I mean, you got Dog, Mim, Gizmo, Liquidium, Billy, here to stay, but maybe something like Satoshi Nakamoto and some of these other ones are maybe shooting blanks. And from there, like Bozo and stuff like that. So what do you think about first the Inc. L2 and then get into the comments from the CEO?
So the Inc. L2, I think that's bullish because they're trying to build like an infrastructure for the DeFi side. And, this is where some of a lot of liquidity could actually like live, right? And if they do a bridging situation from the Runes protocol to their ETH layer 2, they can do something similar to what Merlin's done.
Yeah.
Merlin hasn't had any exploits. That's zero in terms of their bridging. And so I think that's what I think about that. I think this is really good because it's going to give them more firepower. It's going to already set them up to do what every other major centralized exchange is doing, is offering, DeFi tokens in a way that to where they don't have to necessarily list them directly on the centralized exchange part, but they'll feel very similar, but they're going to be doing DeFi stuff in the background. The comments I'm actually bullish for the top runes, because to me that almost kind of sounds like they will possibly support the ones that have actual communities that have volume, right? So what is that? Dog, obviously, $1 billion cat, pups, Gizmo, Magic Internet Money, and then I don't know outside of that, and maybe one of those don't get listed or whatever. Obviously we know Dog for sure. This is speculation, what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
But that comment to me is more about, pay attention to the runes that have volume, that have branding. They're in multiple different places. They're not just on Magic Eden. So that whenever you talk about that, I can only think of Dog, Magic Internet Money, Gizmo, Billy, Liquidium as a utility token, Pups, Brobear was on Funky Bit, which is it's going to be sunsetted. So I don't know if Brobear is anywhere else. It might be. I think it's on Runes Dex maybe. So Brobear could be thrown in there, but like they probably, if they were to list more than Dog, I would imagine it would be those top tier ones that have the volume and the communities behind them.
Well, we do know Dogs can get listed on Kraken, right? That's
100%.
But what happens if they take Dog, Mim, Gizmo, and bring them over to Inc., right? I mean, this could bring a lot of people, like, for them, think about the marketing. Obviously, you're a marketer, right? So think about the marketing aspect of, we have this L2. We're going to go after the base people. I mean, it's going to be hard. If we're going after the Ethereum guys, it's going to be tough. We're going to go after Solana people. That's a huge change for Solana. But maybe we go after an ecosystem of people who don't really have a home in the sense of
home base,
a home base, right? Maybe they're in a sense of we could be that. We could be a Bitcoin L2 and an Ethereum L2 at the same time.
I think it's genius. And not only that, like their communities are diehards, right? Like you're talking, like I think it would be a mistake for them not to take Billy as well, because they haven't been as crazy lately, but they are one that can get riled up really quick. I feel like Gizmo is starting to build some strength with that community because they're just crazy, right?
Yeah.
So where I think if that's the plan, then they also have to probably put some capital up to get those liquidity pools started, which they probably already know that, set that aside, like if a $1 billion cat, we'll put 200K up for Gizmo, maybe all of them kind of just to get the LP going, to see how the communities kind of work their way into that. Right.
Yeah.
But obviously for the audience that's listening in, this is complete speculation. We know, you guys know that, but who knows what they're going to do with it, right? It's going to be interesting. And they've been teasing about Rune's infrastructure for a while, and they keep saying June Rune, and then I think they also said there's only 2 weeks left or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
2 weeks left. So,
I mean, it would be a big disappointment if it was a nothing burger, right? So I just feel like they have to kind of deliver something that's like pretty big hit, don't you think?
Yeah, they have to at this point. If it's July 1st and they haven't done anything, whether it's list Dog or bridge anything over to this inKchain, then I think they lose all credibility, in my opinion. I mean, we stop looking at them. We stop we gave this man 58,000 views in a matter of 24 hours, and he doesn't have a great giant account like Kraken, right? Kraken would post this, they would have 450,000 views. So we're giving them everything they need. They just gotta do what they said they're gonna do, right? They gotta list dog and potentially bridge these tokens over to Ink. I think this would be absolutely insane. But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump in the roll call. I did miss it on accident here. Yeah, so sorry about that. I had a crazy sneeze come along. But all right, so let's jump in the roll call. It does look like Lackey Lukey was first. Shout out to Lackey Lukey. You, my friend, have won again today. Let me actually show you the chart here. So yes, you have your win number 27 on the year. Yesterday, you had 26. So it looks like this is a war between Lackey Lukey and Danny Boy at this point. But damn, Lackey, damn, dude, you're killing it, bro. Yeah, Lackey's in first, Danny's in second, Webdro is in third with 23, ASAP Benji's in fourth with 12. But we'll see. If you guys don't know what this is, all you got to do is be the first comment on YouTube. You do got to beat Lackey Lukey and Danny, which is hard. But you just got to be the first comment on YouTube every single day, and the first comment makes a list. But there's a thing called the Reaper, and he does come and reaps once in a while. So Danny Boy has a thing he does, but you don't have to do that. But yeah, man. But let's keep jumping into this. Lackey Lukey said probably AI and BTC. Yes, Lackey was 100% right on that one. Tim Baker says you're fast. Danny Boy says Lackey has no remorse. Yes, no. Mats is here. Shout out to Mats. Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. PJNZ, the usual suspects still at it. Always PJNZ. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. OnePlus ad is here. Then we got Danny Boy, of course. Choda, our guy. Let's effing go. He says, glad to make roll call. Thank you so much for being here, man. Super fans, what's up, party people from BTC 2025 to an NYC Tech Week and still on the road. I've been doing a big noodle tour. What did I miss? You really didn't miss much, man. Just a bunch of nonsense and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad you're out there grinding away, buddy. Abstract is here. Chips and Dip is here. Kane99 is here. Satoshi Nakamoto says, I'm here, just working. Probably building in the next Bitcoin. Shout out to Satoshi Nakamoto. Lackey Lukey is here. GM. Hydro Sapien is here. Let's go, dog. Bitcoin. Yes, sir. Hydro Sapien says, dog, go to Kraken. Yes, sir. Hydro Sapien also says, dog, Bitcoin runes, ordinals. Yes, sir. Choda says, hit the share and subscribe. Yes, guys, please hit that like button if you don't mind. We don't have enough likes on there, but shout out to you guys, man, and subscribe. Yeah, definitely subscribe. Anthony Paladino is here every single day, Anthony. Really appreciate you, my friend. Let's effing go. Anyone hit up the Mim pump? Yeah, Mim's been up, dude. You see that? Mim's been pumping lately.
Yeah.
I think getting hard,
well, coming back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It got hit.
Yep, 100%. And we got Superfan. He's here. So you're right. Actually, early is better than better take. 100% agree, but demoralizing through. Yes, 100%. Though I should be excited. 100%, man. It is demoralizing. 100%. On the subject of big data and AI, seems interesting. Just launched. Yes, so the big noodle. Looking forward to. Well, yeah, we got to get you on, man, when you get back home and kind of go over that. That would be awesome. Anthony Paladino says Trump is the MFing man. F. Jerome. Strong words. Rick G says GM. Long live OnChain Revolution. Yes. Anthony Paladino says he is the Dark Knight. Stayed too long. Yes, he always stays too long. Cash Cats is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to my man Cash Cats every single day. Appreciate you, my friend. And we have a lot of Kick comments today. Thank you all from Kick. I don't really want to say your names, but yeah, we'll skip all that garbage. But No is here. Shout out to No. He says GM Degens. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here, man. And then Cryptolution, our guy Vincent's going to be on tomorrow. It's going to be great. So definitely tune into that. We'll get a graphic going for that as well. So shout out to Cryptolution. Can't wait to talk about dog with you in 24 hours from right now. Appreciate you, my friend. But that is your roll call for today. All right.
I think we just had a breaking news headline. You might have this in the thing though, with the Magic Eden integration. You know what I'm talking about? What's that?
Oh, it's official.
Yeah, they posted it. You want me to show it?
Terminal? Yeah.
Well, Magic Eden posted it on Magic Eden Bitcoin here. Let me pull that down.
Oh, yeah.
Pull that. There you go. It won't let me put my?
Let me remove mine.
Okay, there it is.
Just
So
now?
it's well, about 10 minutes ago. So it's Magic Eden on Bitcoin. New and improved rune swaps are here. Aggregated liquidity equals better pricing. Sell into bids. Swap with ease. Powered by Sats Terminal. And then it says, Psst, builders, you can access Magic Eden's liquidity via our API. Link below. So yeah, so they're actually opening up the API, by the way, to other people to get it going. But yeah, so this will make the Magic Eden experience better on the swap side, because before the swap was based on orders that were available, and they were doing it that way. So I don't know what took them so long to do this, but I think it was a genius move, and it was a no-brainer for them to do this. And then we know the guys from Sats Terminal, as they're going to be jumping on here with us in 20 minutes, are the best to do this. They're the provider, the aggregator provider, right? So what do you think this means for Magic Eden, and is it a big deal?
This is huge for Sats Terminal. Sats Terminal's now opened up to, they probably have about 30,000 users. They probably opened up to about 300,000 users in a matter of seconds here with this. This is huge for them. Now, right now, obviously right now you can use Xverse, and you're going to be you can do that through Sats Terminal. That's kind of what I've been doing. Or I'll go to Sats Terminal itself. But now you're going to be earning those Amber points and not even know. There's going to be a lot of people after that potential Amber are going to wake up to a lot of Amber that they didn't even know they had, and who knows what the Amber actually turns into. But that's going to be massive for them. And Amber is anything like diamonds. You're going to wake up to massive cash that you didn't even know you were getting, right? Because a lot of people are just going to use this to use it because they want to use it, not because they're going to be earning Amber. I mean, you're going to have those farmers as well, but potentially, I mean, this is going to be a lot big for a lot of people. You're going to see Sats Terminal giving a lot of Amber away for sure, because there's some massive buys.
Yeah, I hope it's like the diamonds, because I remember we didn't think we were going to get the diamonds because we were in the US, and I mean that was like quick little $20,000, $30,000, $60,000 bonus that came out of nowhere.
Depending when you sold.
Yeah, true. But it was just for participating in the Ordinals ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And so we had a comment the other day talking about they had not the best experience with some of the BRC20s and stuff that we talked about long time ago in the show, right? But you have to remember, this is an innovative period in the 2023, right? If you went through all that, then you got like a pizza airdrop. And if you also most of those BRC20s you could have flipped within 3 to 6 months for at least 5, 10, 15, 20x, right? But the give backs is what I love about the Bitcoin ecosystem. The pizza with Unisat, and then Magic Eden had the diamonds. Now we got Sats Terminal with the Amber. I expect now at this point, I kind of expect something awesome. You know what I mean? So it's just do what you like to do in engaging with the ecosystem, and you'll get rewarded, is the lesson I learned.
100%. And that's why I want to bridge some ETH over to Ink, potentially another one, right? So, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is big. I can't wait to talk to the set guys from Sats Terminal about this in a little bit. It's actually perfect timing too, because we're like what 20 minutes away from that. But before we get into that though, Yagobi, do you want to play a game?
Let's do it.
Battle of the Bags, token takedown. So I got bored earlier this morning after I was airdrop farming, and I decided to make a little bracket for you, my friend. So I got 16 coins off of ChatGPT, random. I did add a couple in there. I added Fartcoin and a couple of fun ones like SPX and Dog. But most of these just came from randomized, completely random, right? And I'm going to ask you to kind of pick from these lists. I'm going to go one by one. We have a little matchups to kind of go over. But this is coins to hold till December. So I want your mindset, though, to be when we're going through this about making the most money, right? Not about holding the coin or being a part of the community. This is completely about making the most money of buying that coin today. Whatever this is, I'm going to force you to buy it, just so you know. And then you got to hold it. And then in December, you have to sell it. So this is all it's about. It's about making the most money from today to December. You ready?
Sure. Okay. So each one is the same amount of dollar value that I would purchase.
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't matter the amount. It's just like,
say $1,000.
Okay.
I'm giving you $1,000.
Okay.
But you can only buy one coin, and it has to be one of these 16. You ready?
Yep.
All right. XRP or SPX?
SPX.
169. All right. So the next one, we're gonna go Sol or Ton.
Ton. And I'm just going off of, like, I probably need to look at Ton's market cap, but I'm just going off of what I think. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Ton.
All right, ready? Tron or Trump?
Tron or Trump? Trump.
He went Trump. All right, Doge or Sonic?
Sonic.
Fartcoin or Cardano?
Fartcoin. Everybody's like, he's picking these horrible coins against establishment. He's asking me what I think I'm gonna make the most money on in December, guys. Like, it's not like if you're talking about, I'm having like an internal debate in my mind whenever I'm answering this. But of course, like a lot of these other tokens that I didn't pick are more formidable, and they're if you're looking at like 10 years, I'd probably pick some of these other ones anyway. Continue on.
This is just till December though, right? So hold what coin till December. That's all this is about. So Tau or Pepe? That's a tough one right here.
I would go Tau here. It's actually a smaller market cap than Pepe, which is sad.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Arb or Shiba? Arbitrum or Shiba?
I'll go Arb.
All right, and the last one for round one is Dog and Litecoin.
Come on, of course, Dog.
I got you. All right. So they made it into the top 8 are SPX 6900, Ton, Trump, Sonic, Fartcoin, Tau, Arb, and Dog. You ready for round 2?
Yeah.
All right, SPX 6900 and Ton.
I gotta do a little bit of cheating here, dude. I actually, I would probably risk it with SPX here.
Okay. SPX, and this is Murad's favorite coin of the cycle, so you really can't go wrong with that one. Okay, Trump or Sonic?
Oh wait, hold on. Oh man, see, I don't know, because like this one's kind of close.
Yeah.
Cause he's kind of losing popularity a little bit too lately.
Yeah, he has.
But when things are good, if things get good in the markets, and I probably would. This one's hard. I'll go Sonic because I feel like those guys can put together probably the best pyramid scheme ever. So they can get people to buy into the chain.
All right. Fartcoin and Tau.
Fartcoin and
it's getting tougher and tougher. So I don't want you to think this is easy, guys. This is hard. Put what you guys would pick in there as well. Let us know while we're waiting for Yagobi's answer.
I would actually. Ow. Sorry, I hit my
Tau.
My brain's hurting. No, December, I would probably do. See, I don't know. I think like
having in December. That helps.
Yeah, I mean, I think that some of the Solana stuff is gonna fade though. So I would go Tau here. I already have SPX in there, in case the Solana stuff does continually go nuts.
Dog and Arb.
I'm going Dog, man. Dog has just way more upside in terms of market cap.
All right, we're on a final 4 here. Elite 4. So we have SPX 900 and Sonic. What are you doing?
I would go. I'm gonna do SPX here, just because if Solana's ecosystem does thrive, then I have that in there.
All right. So and then Tau and Dog.
I'm doing Dog because it's a $328 million market cap, and people are saying 2 to 10 billion. Okay, not by necessarily in December, but
what's your winner? SPX 900 or dog? Final two right here. Hold on before you answer that, guys. Put in the chat SPX 6900 or dog, bro. You went meme coin degen style.
Well, I mean,
this.
like you gotta think about like the upside, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if it was like 2 years out, I
Yeah.
would think something different. But yeah, so it's Dog Army, baby.
Dog Army.
the entire
Congratulations,
way.
Dog Army. Rick G goes SPX. But yeah, man. So, but yeah, this was fun. This was a little good time here. So yeah, so Dog ends up winning. I saw that coming. That's why I put Dog at the bottom. So I was just like, all right, let's see who goes to the top here. But absolutely awesome. Dog Army wins again. I feel like the Dog Army doesn't stop winning. Well, maybe not price, but everything else. But yeah, man. Let's take a look at some of the runes. We kind of looked at them a little earlier, but we do have a little time before our good friends over there. He said, I would take Tau, actually, says Rick G. Taking it all.
For this December, that could be a good play.
Yeah, 100%. Cash Cats goes, Dog, go to the moon. Yes, sir, man. 100% here. But let's take a look at some of these other runes too. So we have Dog, right? Sitting at around 329 million. We were both looking at this morning and kind of be like, damn, dude, what a time to potentially buy right there. This is a lovely gift from the political environment for sure. Then we have Mim right now. Mim, like, all right, so Mim went nuts. It went from it dropped all the way down to like 22 million and popped all the way up to about 45. It is down a little bit right now, about 7%, back at 36. But do you think Mim could get to let's just say Dog gets to $1 billion? Do you think Mim can get to potential 300 million as a 10x from here, 360 million?
If the runes ecosystem thrives, yeah. I mean, there's a couple catalysts for the runes ecosystem, right? Arch Network, the Kraken thing, Slingshot. I don't remember multiple things lined up for BRC20 before. I mean, yes, we were waiting on Unistat forever, remember? And then the pizza swapper,
we're still waiting on Unistat.
So that's what I'm saying is, other than that, there was barely whisperings of Destin Slot and all that stuff, but this is different. There's big catalysts that are lined up, and then infrastructure built everywhere for runes. So I feel like it's just kind of a ticking time bomb.
No, I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. Yeah, 100%. All right, what about Gizmo? Sitting at 5.3 million. This is the one that I've been accumulating heavily. I think this is probably one of my favorites.
1 to 150.
Holy shit.
I think
dude, how many X's is that? That's a 10x to 50, 20x to 100. It's a 30x.
Yeah, but you have to remember, $1 billion cat was 155 million in October.
Yeah.
So if Gizmo's 155 or 100, let's say it gets to 100 million, I expect Billy to be at 200 to 220. Obviously not everybody can win. We're gonna see what kind of effect this the whole Kraken thing has with the ecosystem, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are counting on them. We'll see.
What's going on with Billy, man? Back at 11 million. This seems to be a gift, in my opinion. But does Billy have the leadership that some of these other ones have? We know Gizmo with the imaginary. He's out there. He's pushing every single day. I always retweet his tweets. Mim, I don't know who the real leader is. That do you see? Maybe they head over to Cookie DAO real quick, and then we'll kind of look at kind of check out who is kind of the leaders in the ecosystem. If you guys don't know how to use Cookie DAO at all, I highly recommend you guys using it because you can really find out who the leaders are in some ecosystems. So you come up here, right, and you'll put Mim, Magic Internet Money, and then right there, and then you can come down and quickly see who the leaders are. So it looks like Sats Terminal.
Wow,
is the leader in the Mim army. Sugar Girl Sats type. So not seeing a lot of names. They have 47% of the mind share, bro.
That's wild.
Holy crap. We gotta start cash tagging Mim a little more. But yeah, and then you're seeing, Sugar Girl Sats. She's one of the bigger ones here. Tide, Shelly. So not a lot of names that I know of. Yeah, Barbara's here. Barbara's huge influencers here, but she's down a little bit this week. But yeah, wow. This looks like a chart that we need to get on, bro. We need to start cash tagging Mim a little more. Maybe we can take that number one spot away from Sad's terminal. But yeah, I guess I don't cash tag Mim much at all. But I'm gonna start. All right, let's take a look at Billy.
So
BDC,
this is
it's called here.
Well, just type in $1 billion cat, see if that comes up.
There it is. So $1 billion cat, Robin and you.
Hey!
Well, yeah, man, you and Robin are 1 and 2. No,
I was
index.
I wasn't on this list until I made that video last Friday. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, you have 360 smart followers. Good for you. I think I'm at like 290, so that's awesome. Yeah, again, James Brown. Not seeing a lot of
Robin, Miko would think his name is.
Yeah, Miko's there. I'm not seeing. Oh, there's your boy. There's Shizzy.
Oh, okay.
I'm on here. And then yeah, I always have BitGod and what's the name? Colin is my top guys here. I don't know what this middle one is, but yeah. But yeah, Crypto Gorilla. Not really seeing it. What about Gizmo? Let's check out Gizmo. I like Gizmo's ticker too. Gizmo, 5 letters. All right, let's see who the bigger names in here. It's you and me, bro. We're on here. We're on here as the biggest.
Yeah,
the biggest influencers back to back there. Stats terminal again, but then this guy CG and Ness.
Oh yeah,
big.
She bull posts a lot about Gizmo.
Yeah, 100%. She got a puppet, PFP as well. But yeah, man, Sleepless. Look at the pups, bro. Pups Army is strong. Imagine this is the guy. He tweets a lot about Gizmo. But yeah, man. And then we got Psycho Dis Panzer here. But yeah, this is definitely something. Yeah, Ness. That's Terminal, Magic Internet, Pepe. Yeah, yep. But again,
I didn't see Bongo on there.
I don't see Bongo on there. On the Billy one anyway. Let's check Pups. Pups Bitcoin. I think Pups is like going to be. Oh no, Farmer Joe. I should have thought of that. Now I think about it. Lord Arf, CG. So yeah, so Farmer Joe is maybe he's taking the range a little bit. Maybe he's tweeting a little bit more. But I'm not really seeing a lot of Pups on my timeline. But I guess I should start looking a little more because Farmer Joe tweeted as well. So Pups, since it was a BRC20. Yeah. Pups could be one too, right? Pups could be one that goes ballistic when the time comes. I mean, right now it's sitting at $22 million market cap. Seems like a gift. Where do you see Pups at in the future? Do you think Pups could potentially outtake Mim? I mean, they're only like 30% from each other. Do you think Pups could be that number 2 again if Farmer Joe gets that push?
I think whenever the risk on environment comes back on, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pushing these that previously did, right? Yeah. So Farmer Joe, Bongo, A6, like all those people that are they probably have bags in these too. But I think we need more than that. We need like if Kraken does do some sort of home base situation, or if Arch does, that like everybody goes there for it. You know what I mean? So look, Arch is supposed to be launching in July, right?
I mean, yeah, that's like 12 days away.
Yeah, so we'll see if they're going to launch in July, and if they do, then Saturn's supposed to be the place to go for that. And then we'll see what Kraken does as well. Because look, as much attention as Dog has gotten from Kraken, the part of the Bitcoin ecosystem community has also been focused on alkanes, right?
Yeah.
And we have friends that are building over there, right? Like in the Laser Eye guys with Hathbanger and Bunzi and so there's this weird kind of split of attention and focus right now. Part of it on alkanes, part of it on runes, and the builders that are like aggregator swaps and stuff like that. Terminal, they're just like, we just want to service the community. So whatever's hot, we're going to add there. But I think from a user perspective, like I think Ness, for example, she's a great community person for the Bitcoin ecosystem. She bull posts runes a lot. Now she's kind of a little bit like, okay, what's going to happen with alkanes and runes? I think Bongo's probably said it best. He said that like if alkanes doesn't succeed, then runes will still be okay. But if runes doesn't succeed, then alkanes won't be okay. But I don't know how that would make sense.
No, if runes fail, Alkane's the next big thing.
Well, I say he said it best that way because it's like he's saying that like runes needs to integrate with alkanes for it to succeed because of
Yeah.
the momentum of runes that runes has. And so that made sense to me. The part that didn't make sense is like only that situation would allow alkanes to survive, and I don't know if that's true. You know, so we'll see what's going to happen because we all know that yes, there's like a technical issue with the fungibles on Bitcoin, but marketing wins in this industry. You know, so.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. Alkanes are so new; they're not on anything. I mean, you can't find them. They're not being listed anywhere. Not on CoinGecko, not on CoinMarketCap. I mean, there's such a tiny ecosystem right now. I mean, it's so much opportunity here. But again, I don't think the top coin is here yet, right? I mean, I don't really believe in methane. I love Alchemist. Alchemist could be 100% could be the top coin here easily. It has a 10x away from catching methane, but methane's been down a lot these last couple of days, which is, you know, they did have a huge pump, but you're not seeing any of these tokens really be talked about anywhere besides probably this show.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we see it on the timeline a lot. People are talking about it on the timeline, or they'll have spaces for it. But I think people are also just exhausted with new token standards all the time. And so, you know, the one thing that could solidify the Rune standard is by, you know, a big exchange coming in and helping solidify the infrastructure for that. So I don't know. People are just waiting right now, sitting on their thumbs, right? You have a lot of dog holders probably waiting in anticipation for it to be listed on Kraken. But just being listed on Kraken to me is not going to shoot it up like, you know, to $1 billion. You know, the market conditions have to be right as well. And they're, you know, maybe if they bring a little something extra, you know, to the plate in terms of infrastructure stuff, that could help. You know, I think the integration of SaaS Terminal to Magic Eden's a big deal because Magic Eden's a big platform.
Yeah,
you know. So
I wonder if you go to swap now, if it comes up here. I do love Magic Eden's swap thing though. Wait, hold on. Can you pick runes yet?
What's what?
No, you can't. With oh, you can.
Slingshot?
Oh, it's the Solana room. No, so Magic Eden has obviously their swap on the site. This thing, but you still can't pick like you know, like the runes yet from this part of it. You still have to go into the runes part. Well, let's go to Bitcoin. Maybe if I put Bitcoin up here. No, I can't. So this is just a Solana swap then. But if you go in here and then you go to trade runes, and then I guess you go to dog and then hit swap. So now this is right here is going to be Sats terminal now, which is cool. So, but yeah, man. These guys should be joining us, right?
I think so. Let's see.
All right. We have in here today 214 of you guys, man. Absolutely awesome. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like and share, that would be absolutely awesome. Rick G says, you said AI, Yagobi, LOL, as one of your big things. And I think Rick G's coming at you a little bit. You said AI earlier, then you went with but you did say the Bitcoin ecosystem too. Actually, you said that first. So that's a little bit there.
Yeah, I did say Bitcoin ecosystem in there, right? But also, Rick G, you have to remember it's December is the date that Shizzy gave me of this year to sell, and so that's kind of why I went the route that I did. Right? If it was like a 2-year plus hold, or I would say like maybe 4-year plus hold or something, then I would have definitely, you know, went with the Tau route. I think maybe. I mean, who knows? Like, you know, dog at 300 million. You know, if it does get to 5-10 billion, like people think, then that's a good come up, in my opinion. I was looking for the best low hanging fruit.
Yeah, and I definitely think that dog is that for sure. I mean, I'm kind of seeing this triangle right now. TA wise, the dog's kind of in, and it's been in for, this is the daily, so it's been in here for a little while now. And coming from those highs back there and the lows back here, you're kind of seeing dog in this little this triangle here, and it could have a breakout really soon. But we might have to come down first and touch the bottom one more time before we do break out. But I do see dog breaking out to the upside. But But again, I might have to come down and touch this line. And I don't have my chart there, but yeah.
I was envisioning it.
All right. Sounds good. All right, let's kind of get into our next thing here. So every Wednesday, we like the guys from Sats Terminal to join us. Today, we were lucky enough to have the great Cyclops join us. Cyclops, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going?
Going well. How are you doing?
Sorry, it was a little bit late. We were just frantically getting out our tweet because we're now live on Magic Eden. They just let us know.
Oh, okay. So you guys are thrown off a little bit with that.
Yeah, it was because we were like, okay, we know it's coming today, and then it was like, okay, we got the tweet, we gotta retweet it right now. Yeah. So we're on a group chat for that.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Well, go ahead.
Let's just jump into that real quick, if you don't mind. So I'll share my screen here. So this is the tweet. We looked at it a few minutes ago, but new and improved Rune swaps are here. Aggregated liquidity, better equals better pricing. Sell into bid, swap with ease. Powered by Sats Terminal. Absolutely huge for you guys, man. And then let's check out your tweet here. Coming down, you guys have it right here, right?
It's not there yet.
Yeah, we don't have like the quote retweet because we have like a Medium article coming out. But
gotcha.
But yeah, that's like the first one for it.
Sounds good.
It's so interesting seeing that in light mode. Twitter.
I tried to switch. I can't do dark mode anymore. I don't know why. I just can't.
Really?
I just don't like it anymore. Yeah, I've used it for over 2 years now. It's like I do everything in light mode again. I just like it better. I don't know.
It keeps you up.
It does. It keeps energy higher. It keeps the blue light in your face. But yeah, man. But this is absolutely huge for you guys, man. Magic Eden, like we were talking earlier, Sats Terminal might have like 30,000 users, right? But what this does, this probably brings on 300,000 potential users to you guys. Can you talk about that a little bit? Hold on, real quick. Bring up your CTO here as well. What's up, buddy?
Hello, sir.
What's up, Rashab?
Hello, Salaps.
Yeah, man.
Hi, Shizzy. Hi, Yagobi. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Congratulations with the integration with Magic Eden. I'm sure you were running around like a chicken with your head cut off the past couple days.
Yeah, no, I mean, this has been in the making for a long time. We've been working on this for like a couple of months and being really quiet about it. So we went through a lot of stages of like testing and making sure all set up for like past couple of months now. So we're excited for this. So far, it's been one of those days where, yeah, there's a storm outside, but we can sleep in the barn because we prepared in advance. So far, so I hope things stay this way. So. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I kind of ask you the same questions, but the Cyclops, and Cyclops, you can give me your opinion on it too. But you guys probably had about 30,000 users. This kind of opens you guys up to about 300,000 potential users. I'm curious of your opinion on one, can you guys handle that? And two, what do you think comes from this? Do you guys think that potentially this is a huge growth moment for you guys?
Salab, do you want to say something first?
Well, let's go first. I'll get your opinion on both you guys. So,
Cyclops, start with you.
Yeah, I'll go first. So, like, I'm excited because I think to me this integration is gonna because Magic Eden is like one of the biggest places for runes volume. To me, this is like kind of like the pinnacle. Like when I was testing it, it was kind of like the pinnacle of everybody in the space kind of working together because it's like you're doing a swap on Magic Eden. It's using Sats Terminal to power it, and then pretty much like you see, it's like the best order is like this other marketplace like Dot Swap, and it's like how cool is it just to have like 3 different companies kind of working together, like, and everybody's just kind of because we had a space with Farmer Joe, and it's like at this phase of like Bitcoin DeFi, it's all about kind of like working together to get Bitcoin DeFi to happen, and so for me, it's like a big stride, in my opinion.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah, no, I think like that resonates with what I'm thinking as well. I think it's great for this space that firstly all of us, all the dexes in the space coming together now, and I think just for like Bitcoin DeFi in general, this is amazing because rune swaps are going to get so much better. Like it's been our mission to make rune swaps better from the beginning, like so you don't have to deal with all the UTXOs and order picking. And now having that audience of 300,000 people means more people can come back and try it and realize that it's gotten so much better. It's not the experience that it was in like April, May, or June last year when we had the halving, and it's like significantly better now, and the space is like evolving with time. And like, well, credit to Magic Eden for taking a bet with like a relatively early stage company as well. I'm sure we're prepared for this. We can take the 300,000 users, and I'm also just excited for the users being able to try out better swaps on Bitcoin. And finally, like this trickles down to their API as well. Like if you saw in the announcement, so they've updated their docs and added for all of their front end partners like routing through us as well. And what that means is that when new entrants come into the space, be it Slingshot or any of these other guys, maybe Moonshot someday, right? But they're going to have a much better experience onboarding to Bitcoin swaps and adding that for their users. And that just helps the space grow, right? Like that's what we all want. Like we're still a bit of a cult in the crypto space, right? Of like these weirdos that like to buy meme coins with their Bitcoin. But having better tooling is just going to open that up to more people and expand that market. And that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Weirdos who like to buy meme coins with their Bitcoin. I love it. We're gonna put that on the shirt. I'm gonna put that on the shirt. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing that the audience needs to take away from this is user experience is going to get better on one of the most high trafficked platforms in the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? So like Shizzy said, you're talking about 6 figures of users now that used to go and complain to all their Web3 friends about how crappy the experience of trading runes was, can now like go back and say, okay, they have the swap is much better, and they, you know, not like how it was even before, because like the swap was based on what was available only on Magic Eden. Now, for the most part, for the popular runes, you're going to be able to get in and out of those, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's actually a big like a big thing that's changed on ME as well. So before, if you went onto the ME front end and tried to do like a, let's say, $10 swap with Bitcoin, you probably would not be able to if they don't have like a listing of that size. But now through our routing, like we'll find an AMM that can do that $10 listing, be it dot swap or RuneStacks or something like that. Right? So like if a new entrant's coming into the space and they're like, you know what, let me just like fuck around with $10 of Bitcoin, see what I can do to like just try out a swap. Before you couldn't do that. Now you can.
Hello.
Hey, big announcement day. Welcoming Stam, the CEO of Assats Terminal, to the stage as well. But yeah, Rashab, you're absolutely right. Being able to do the small amounts is going to be important too for just everyday users, because that's the problem with our space before. It's like on Ethereum, Solana, you can do as much as you want. Now you can start to do that on the Bitcoin ecosystem. But Stan, I'd like to kind of hear your, I guess, feeling about this announcement. It's obviously a big announcement for Assats Terminal and Magic Eden. I think Magic Eden, benefits immensely as well from this partnership. But how are you feeling? Have you noticed any kind of response from the ecosystem yet?
I mean, we made a post 4 minutes ago, so give me a little bit more time. But you can say from my face that I can't stop smiling. I'm extremely happy. I'm like, I'm very fucking happy. Okay.
There you go. I love it.
Let's go. Let's jump right into your post then. You guys just
let's go. Bitcoin history is being made.
100%, man. Magic Eden and Assats Terminal have officially joined forces. I do love the cap locks. It makes it feel more motivating. Every single rune swap on Magic Eden is powered by Assats Terminal Algo. That is a huge statement. That is absolutely massive. Every single rune swap is now powered by Assats Terminal, the most powerful Bitcoin trading routing engine ever built. Maximum liquidity, ultra effective execution, best prices together will be unleashing a new era for Bitcoin, an era where user always wins, where everyone is included, and where Bitcoin finally has infrastructure it deserves. No more fragmented liquidity, no more outdated trading, no more waiting for the future. The future is here. Your future, powered by Assats Terminal. Absolutely love it, guys. Awesome.
I don't know what to add. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. I think it's just another another proof that we are a #1 leading DEX aggregator, and that we are leaving all of the other. I don't know if there are any other, but yeah, I'm just saying. I think we're doing a great job. I'm very proud of the team, because if not the guys, if not the guys that are with us on the call, and the people that are in our, it would never happen. So I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful as well to the Magic Eden team, because they were amazing and they helped us to make this integration happen. We're joining their pod actually also quite soon. Today we will continue talking about that. And yeah, I think that's great. But at the same time, it's only the beginning, right? We have so many other things in progress that it's just bonkers. Like this man, Java, he's working 16 hours a day to deliver a couple of incredible.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's very, very little. I agree. That should be 24/7. Actually, that's very late. But yeah, that's, I left US, so he has a little bit of sleep now. But the whole month we were just sitting in the basement working 24/7. Now I'm a little bit more chill. But yeah, we have a lot of new things in progress, and I think like during this summer, while everyone is going on vacation, we will be just shipping. We have no vacations.
Yeah. And, I mean, for the audience, you guys are looking at the C-suite right now. You got the CEO, the CTO, and the CMO. And I'm telling you right now, we get to work with this team a lot in terms of meetings and stuff, and they are all hitting stride in their areas. So I'm really confident in what you guys are going to do for the future. Strong C-suite. I don't think we've ever had the full C-suite of a team on at one time. I love it. But also for the audience, you got to realize how important this moment is, because one of the biggest issues with the Bitcoin ecosystem has been a fragmentation of liquidity. And what a strong aggregator does is it brings that all into one house. And this is a monumental moment to bring one of the largest, if not the largest platform in the Bitcoin ecosystem in terms of, visibility, marketing, all that stuff into the algorithm is huge. Right. So I guess, Rashad, could you kind of talk about that, like how that is so important to kind of bring that fragmentation together?
Yeah, I mean, this just throws back to like the conversation about UX, because whenever a new entrant is coming into this space, if you're trying to buy for a certain amount and you're not able to, it immediately leaves like a bad taste in your mouth, right? Especially if you're coming from one of the really liquid ecosystems like Solana or anything on Ethereum, or even Sway for that matter. Like you go on, try to do a $1, $2, $3 swap, and you're easily able to do it in any of those ecosystems. And then you come to Bitcoin, and when you try to do the same thing, it fails. It's a little frustrating, and then you don't want to come back. And that's, I think, in many ways inhibited the growth of our space as well. Because obviously we had great reads, right? Like I think the halving was crazy. We had so many people here and so many other new entrants that came in to try the ecosystem, but they didn't stick around because they had a bad experience. And I think that's what changes when an aggregator comes into play. When you put that liquidity together, it makes it so that whether you're trying to do like a $2, $3, $4 swap, or even like a $10,000-$15,000 swap, you're able to do that at limited slippage. And that slippage is another thing. You don't want to try and do, like, let's say a whale comes in to do a $10,000 swap. They don't want to be paying twice the price they would be paying if they were to just do multiple $1,000 swaps. That again leads to bad experience. So having the aggregator taking care of that slippage for them automatically also improves that experience, and just makes it so that these people, irrespective of the size of transactions they want to do, stick around in our space and helps the space grow. Yeah,
absolutely. User experience is the biggest pain point that we've had in Bitcoin since really the inception of trying to do stuff with the chain and put assets on the chain other than Bitcoin itself, right? But speaking of that, Cyclops, from a CMO perspective, you've experienced the pain points from Cardano building out its infrastructure. How does it feel to be a part of a team that is actually building the solution to solve some of these pain points in the Bitcoin ecosystem?
I mean, that's almost exactly why I worked here. It's because it was, like I was running cats of the sats, and then, like we just kept dealing with those rocks that would be at the floor of runes, which was killing the experience. And then we were just like getting sniped. like when you're like trying to mint a rune, and so like I just think it was like, okay, we need LPs, and then you started to see like dot swap, but then it was just like there were like 20 dexes that were up, and it's like some of them didn't finish building, some of them are in the works, but they were all up, and it was like, oh my gosh, they're all like just gonna have to start building up liquidity pools from nothing. And so like when Rashad was like, because he was reaching out to like Cats at the time, he was like, do you want to aggregate? I was like, yes, absolutely. This is like what we need like to solve the problem. So it's been like a pleasure, just because it's like, it's not an abstract concept. It's like, okay, this is like the direct solution to the problem that was going on in the whole space. So like it kind of made the mission very clear as to what it was.
That was also like the story of how I met Salops as well. Like we were talking about Cats, and then I was trying to get feedback on the aggregator because he was the most degen that I knew. So I was like, hey, what do you think about this thing that we're building? And then he like immediately got really excited about it. And then I'd seen some of the work he had done overall, and I was like, do you want to like come work with us? And then it was like, yeah, and then that's how the conversation evolved. But yeah, he was one of the first people I spoke to just to get feedback on what we were doing. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's the really best part about our space, right? Is like everyone's just like so open to working with each other. Everyone's so open to offering positions to people that are actually in the space and doing it every day. Because I mean, we're seeing a lot of people come in from the space from the outside, like Web 2 coming into space, and right away. Like I love Jan, but in the beginning when he first came in, it was like this guy knows nothing about DeFi, right? Jan's amazing. Experts is awesome. He's learned a lot since then. But having people come in and actually already know the assets and know stuff is absolutely awesome. But I have a question for Stan. So Stan, your site is absolutely amazing, beautiful, right? But I have an addition that possibly we can add. We can add this guy.
Oh my gosh!
What do you think? What do you think about? What do you think about adding?
You're not trying to lose.
Shipping now. Shipping. It's fine. Let's do it.
When's your birthday, Shizzy? I'll make it happen.
December. That'll be awesome. December 23rd, man. Lock me in that day.
Yeah, show me a reminder. We give everybody a Christmas present.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, man. I'm curious now because now a lot of people are going to be waking up, in a few months, and they're going to have a lot of Amber that they don't really know about because they're using Magic Eden, right? Could you kind of talk about that maybe for anyone who doesn't know what the Amber program is, and kind of maybe get into that a little bit for anyone new watching?
Amber program. What is that?
Well, what are you guys calling it? Amber Forever?
I call it the best generational opportunity in 21st century or this millennium, maybe. I don't know. Time will show. Maybe I'm over optimistic because I'm SATS terminal, but I mean, everyone who's fading Amber and not farming Amber right now, they would be crying. They would be writing me in DMs, "Oh, Stan, please send me a little bit of Amber. Send me a little bit of Amber." But there will be no Amber for you. People will get all of the Amber. Amber is not infinite, right? It's like gold mine. You can mine it for 100 years, but then boom. But for Amber, it will not last for so long. You have like maybe time until like mid of September. Then we will slash the rewards significantly. We will slash the quests. We will stop giving Amber just like that. People who are not participating right now, not doing transactions to our front end and not participating in Amber Forever campaigns, it's just not smart. It's just not. Because you can go and you can make one transaction, you will enter the raffle, you can win tokens straight away. You can win a little bit of runes, you can win a little bit of alkanes. By the way, shout out to alkane community. And also, what is even better and bigger and more important, you can enter the raffle and win 250,000 Amber. That's just crazy. I make less Amber a month as a CEO of this company.
Do they pay you in Amber?
we're all paid in Amber. We're all paid in Amber. We have a little bit of Amber closed ecosystem. We pay for everything just in Amber. Food, rent, office. You see, Java is in office. That's paid by Amber. No, guys, I'm joking, obviously, but it's a big campaign. It's very important. It's an integral part of our ecosystem. People who support us from early days, they would be the ones that we will never forget, and we will support them later down the line, because eventually Sats Terminal will become a $1 billion plus company, and you want to be a supporter of $1 billion plus company. It's cool. You want to, it's just great. You can tell your friends, hey, I'm an early supporter of this huge, amazing company backed by Coinbase Ventures, Tim Draper, etc. I think that's cool. I would do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, imagine being able to say that down the road. But you guys are constantly shipping, like you said. Rashab is constantly working in terms of like the product, and I mean, your team's constantly working all the time. But you have the feature that was added with the kind of the roll at the top with the trending runes, and you're constantly adding features. Is there any new features that are coming that you can talk about? If you can't talk about them, that's fine. But if there's anything coming, we'd love to hear about it.
I mean, like some of the like low hanging fruit and like new features that's coming is like charts on our UI as well.
Nice.
We're constantly trying to improve the trading experience through our front end. So we're putting on like just different kind of charting for different tokens to make that experience better. Also, like on the other, there's more updates coming on like other products. We've previously spoken about Hedge on here, like our mobile app that's like live on the App Store. That one's getting so many upgrades that are going live very soon, including like letting you like not just buy but also take loans against that Bitcoin through the app. So we're working on all fronts to just make like have the best experience for Bitcoin, regardless of it being with just trading runes or also later buying and getting loans against it and stuff. So I'd say those two are like the biggest ones in the pipeline right now. There's another like complete different like adjacent product that's coming on our front end, but just not being public about that just yet. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. Yeah. Charting might seem like it's a small thing, but I think it's actually pretty big, because that experience of, especially if you guys are going to add indicators and stuff like that, people that like to spot trade, it's kind of a swing trade type of mentality. They love to use those indicators. So I think that would definitely improve the user experience. So I can't wait till you guys add that.
Yeah. And like the other things that we kind of want to hear from the community, like what they need and what we should prioritize, but things we're thinking about are like automatic DCA, like, being able to buy dog every alternative day or once a week. And other things like limit orders across marketplaces, things like that. So those are things we're trying to figure out what people want so we know what to prioritize. But yeah, just those are the things that we have in the pipeline right now.
Yeah. That would be hard with runes, right? But potentially something like alkanes, I think, with the smart contracts and stuff, that's definitely something more possible. Do you see that possible, being able to? Because obviously, I got to be at my wallet and be able to sign it, right? Like at the transaction. Is something like that? I mean, obviously, you're working on it, but is something like that? It's more easy with the alkanes than it is with runes.
I'm not sure. I don't want to say like yes for certain, because I'm not written an Alkane smart contract yet, so I can't say like 100% it would be easier there. I think it is possible with runes. It's just the way we do it would be, like I have a few ideas for what that architecture would look like, but I don't think it's required that you'd have to be online and have to sign a transaction. I think you could definitely pre-sign all of those DCA transactions for a certain amount of time, and then but I think the requirement would be that you have those funds in your wallet. So I think something is possible. We just need to work out the details, I'd say, of how that would work.
Yeah, it would definitely be unique in terms of the platform. So keep us updated and keep the community updated with that, because I think that would be very interesting. I mean, obviously, this dog army is crazy. If you look at cookie.dao or whatever it's called, cookie.fun, it shows the positive and negative sentiment, and dog is like 90. It's the craziest percentage of positive sentiment across the entire industry. 99.5% positive, 0.5% negative. The next closest one I saw was like 95%. So the dog,
Hold on. So we do have 99.8% on pops. So
I'm just saying. No way.
Look at it. Look at it.
Okay.
Look at
So
Seth's terminal. You guys are number 2.
someone's doing something right with the social post there.
And then if you go to Mim, hold on. If you go to Mim, it gets better.
I love how
because
my
then you
partner
guys-
tries to make me look really dumb in front of everybody right now.
I'm just saying, dude. But look
You
at this,
gotta
47%.
screenshot this.
Yeah.
go.
I'll put the link in for you guys. But I mean,
Are there 100? They're 100%.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Some of these rules, it's just insane. It's insane the community. So
Well, I was comparing it to obviously the degen of the degen worlds, the
100%.
the Solanas
with
and
actual value.
yeah, and stuff like that. But you know, you guys are a big part of the dog community. You know, I see those posts that you guys post about whales using SATS terminal to purchase $20,000 purchases. I'm sure lots of amber goes into that, so we got to keep up with those guys. But yeah, definitely excited for the future releases. Would love to kind of hear any last words that you guys have before we let you guys go. Start with you, Stan.
Yeah, I can say that I received 25 messages in the Telegram DMs since we announced Magic Eden.
Wow.
So guys, if you're watching this online, please give me a little bit of time. I will be responding slow. So maybe I'll come back to you next week, because we will have now, I think, a lot of inbound propositions to do integrations and stuff like that, which is extremely exciting. But I think we would need to work more than 16 hours a day now, like 24/7. Like it's this team are goats. RunesDex, let's go! Shout out to RunesDex. Eric, that's you.
Yeah, probably.
Who's
I think
that?
it's probably this is Cache Cats. He's paying attention. He's one of our community members. But yeah, RunesDex. I'm pretty sure that's Eric running the account there. But we love Eric, and he's the or Deutsche. I think is his name. Yeah. Or Deutsche. But yeah. So if you're messaging Stan, give him a little time. He's getting swamped right now. But yeah, I'm super excited for what you guys got. Rashad, from you on the tech side, any last words?
Just keep swapping. We love our whales. You'd be like, anybody that thinks that like, oh, there are not a lot of people transacting on Runes or Bitcoin. You're wrong, because we get a lot of insights from across marketplaces, and like there is a lot of big money in Runes still. So keep fucking buying Runes, swapping Runes, and keep telling us how to make this space better. So yeah.
Awesome, love it. And then let's wrap it up here with the CMO Cyclops. Any final words from you, sir?
Yes, Amber, listen, right now, like if you just connect your wallet and if you just join our socials and you do it through there, you don't even have to spend $1, and you're going to get like thousands of Amber, which we're being very generous with right now because we haven't figured out the balance of the token yet. and when it's early, it's good. So like if you get, for every 1,000 sats that you spend, you get 1 Amber on our platform. If you just sign up with our socials, it's almost like you traded several $100s, because you'll be getting 1,000 just for connecting your wallet. You'll be getting like 250 just for joining our Discords and following us on Twitter. So there's really nothing to lose. And we wanted to make this available to everybody.
Yep, I love that. You know, want to let the entire ecosystem know about this so everybody can take advantage, not just the whales, right? So it's just get involved, guys. Connect the wallet, 3,000 Amber points. It's really simple, straightforward, and no brainer there. But man, what an exciting and amazing segment with the SATS Terminal team here today. Big event with the Magic Eden integration and partnership there. But we thank each and every one of you guys as you show up every Wednesday, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Yes, sir.
Never lose with us. Farm Amber and always win. Bye.
There you go. I love it.
And Amber's not a token.
That's a good one. Thank you, Cyclops. Bye, guys. See ya.
All right,
Peace.
take it easy.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah, man, absolutely amazing having these guys on today and each and every Wednesday. So if you guys want to see them again, we'll have them back on next Wednesday. But guys, we've gone 2 hours now, 245 people in here on X and YouTube, not to mention everyone on Twitch, Abstract, Rumble, and Kick. A lot of comments from Kick today. Shout out to you guys over on Kick, but appreciate every single one of you guys. And that's our show.
Yes, it is. And like Shizzy said, thank you guys. Without y'all, we couldn't do this. And, you know, we really appreciate that support. Also, with our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it, guys. We just talked about Sats Terminal, but we're going to talk about them again. They are the DEX aggregator of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Today's event proves that, right? Integrating with Magic Eden. But if you're swapping for runes, make sure you go to satsterminal.com. Earn those Amber points, guys, right? You can swap for runes. You can swap for alkanes. The most popular runes, Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Magic Internet Money, they're all available there. They're going to find the most liquid tokens for you guys there. Join the community, the Discord. Cyclops runs the community side. He's really awesome. You just heard from him, you know, the really friendly team. So get integrated that way. Head over to satsterminal.com today. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin's tech stack for you guys to be able to place bets in their markets. You can actually place bets in their predictions markets today, their blitz markets, which is a 10-minute market that you can select between Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana to kind of lock in a price. And then you can pick it to go up or down. And then an additional 10 minutes to see if you got that correct or incorrect. In the future, very soon future, you're going to be able to create your own markets and earn 1.5% of the total volume of people that place bets in your markets that you create, as well as refer a friend. You can earn 1% of the total amount of transaction volume there. Head over to betbtc.win, join their Discord as well, as they have a thriving community there, and you can ask any questions you have. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin to Base, Merlin, Abstract, and right now you can do it as the first chain was live with the Taproot Wizard. So you can actually take your Taproot Wizard from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Ethereum and put it on Gandhi, and you can take out a loan against it, right? In the future, you're going to be able to do that with those other chains I mentioned and Solana, and you're going to be able to use their AI agent Hustle to help you do that, right? Once they integrate the Bitcoin tech stack to Hustle, he's going to be able to help you vault these and take them over to Solana. But right now, you can use Hustle to help you through the trenches of Solana. Hustle is like an AI assistant. It's going to help you get you information about tokens, you know, give you some deep dive analysis on, you know, the token's history. You can ask them to find a safer 5x play for you. Those kind of ways to use him as a resource is I've found very helpful. You can use Hustle now for free until they integrate the business model of their token that's going to be integrated into it. Right now you can test it, you can try it out, see if it's good for you. You don't even need a wallet. You can, you know, sign in through Google, they'll create a wallet for you, all that great stuff there. And don't forget, they do have a Rune TGE in September that's going to be coming out for the Emblem ecosystem called Emblem Founder Vault Keys. Right now, you can participate in a pre-sale at OpenSea. If you search Emblem Founder Vault Keys, you can purchase it as an NFT. And once they get close to the TGE, they're going to give you instructions on how to get those Bitcoin runes into your Bitcoin wallet. Head over to emblem.vision today, join their Discord as well, and dive into their docs to learn more about that team. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be launching on a Bitcoin Layer 2 Hemi, backed by Binance Labs very soon. But before that, it's going to be Botonics, the spider chain, which is another Bitcoin Layer 2. They're going to be doing a co-promotion event with them. It's going to be really awesome, and you can, you know, really benefit as a user if you utilize the platform, because you're going to be on the Botonics as well, so you can kind of double dip there. But Artura is going to allow you to trade leverage for Bitcoin fungible tokens like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Sats, Ordi. You're gonna be able to trade those tokens, which is really cool. They're gonna have the traditional, you know, out of the ecosystem tokens as well, like XRP, Tau, Ethereum. But if you're not into trading, you can just participate by earning passively by adding liquidity to their vaults, right? So you can head over to their Discord as well. But to get there, you can go to Artura.finance and learn all about that team there. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem, starting on Cardano, making their way over to Bitcoin. But they're building on both, right? They were the first to offer staking vaults for the Bitcoin ecosystem. For retail users, at least, right? So if you did stake your dog go to the moon, you can actually claim that for season 2 right now. You'll get back your original stake dog plus the rewards that you earned all in one transaction. They will have a season 3 starting in late July, early August. They're gonna announce that official date very soon. But you can also take advantage of their airdrop tool if you are a founder and you need to airdrop runes to your community, right? It's really simple. You can utilize a CSV file, which is a Google Sheets or Excel file, or you can do it manually one by one. It's really cost efficient and it's pretty quick. We tested it out ourselves, so you can go there. And then on the Cardano side, you can take advantage of their Aquarium platform and earn Babel fees there. But head over to fluidtokens.com. This team is constantly grinding and dropping new features each and every day. Make sure you follow them on X. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Cardano and Bitcoin, and they will be adding new ecosystems very soon. But if you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download the app. If you have an Android, head over to Google Play. You can download it there. You can actually swap for runes directly in their app as they partner with Sats Terminal. Everybody's partnering with Sats Terminal, but they partnered with them, so you can swap Doggo to the Moon directly in their app. On the Cardano side, you can actually swap for SNEC as they partnered with their lead aggregator as well on the Cardano side. This team is also constantly dropping new features on their app. So test out the app. Let us know your feedback. We'll give it back to the team. But you can also find our YouTube channels there because they do have an alpha section that's really, really cool. Head over to Tokyo.io today and learn more there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. You can utilize their 0.03 wizard AI that will get you through the Merlin ecosystem. You can actually use the wizard to help you swap, do DeFi functions, stuff like that. But it will also help you stake if you want it to. But you can stake manually. And if you go to merlinchain.io, you can participate in securing the chain with their flexible, which is a day-to-day staking option. If you have Merlin Chain tokens, the Merl token, it's 15% APR, and you can actually withdraw rewards every day if you'd like. And then the bonded is a 6-month locked in staking option, which you earn 45% APR there. Same thing, you can withdraw your rewards every day. And Merlin token is also getting a lot of recognition. They are on the roadmap of Kraken, as you've seen if you follow their X account as well. The team's constantly grinding, helping with the strengthen the brand. They're in the Wrap Bitcoin DAO, one of 11 entities, as well as being in the alpha program on Binance and Perps Binance as well. So make sure you're following them on X so you can get their latest updates there. Head over to merlinchain.io today. And lastly, our integrated partners in Jungle, formerly Foxy AI, that is building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, as well as their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. They have also added a Bitcoin Derby into their ecosystem, and they will be launching a launchpad for games in the near future. So make sure you're following them and staying up to date with their updates there. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace, similar to Sats Terminal, except for Ordinals, right? They're aggregating Ordinals, so they're going to find you the cheapest Ordinals around, and they have some amazing trader tools there. And we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, and if you guys wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering a space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. Brand new article just dropped, Pump.Fun suspended on X, but they are back. Check out everything that's happened over the course of the last 48 hours, all in this article. Check it out here. If you guys need a VPN, I use NordVPN every single day. I highly recommend you guys get a VPN because when you go to sites, some of them don't even let you go to them because they're geo-blocked, and there's that's up to that company to do that, right? That's their choice. But with a VPN, you can say F you, I'm using your site. Nothing you can do about it, right? So definitely get a VPN, guys, and they're not illegal. That's one thing you have to understand. Anyone can use a VPN. It is okay to have privacy, especially here in the US. So make sure you guys are going to be a VPN. And you got to remember too, when you're going to these sites, you're giving them your IP address, which they can lead you lead them to you. They can actually lead to your actual address, and that's the last thing that you guys want. Use a VPN. It's safe. We're Bitcoiners at the end of the day. We believe in privacy, and a VPN does that for you guys. And if you guys need merch, we're gonna be adding new stuff here soon. And if you want us to add anything that you like, hey, can you add my PFP? Can you add this? Can you add that? Whatever. We can pretty much add anything for you guys. Check everything out here at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution, roll call, market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin controlling. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.